Sup nerds, I'm Tom.
I'm Wes.
We played 3 Pandasurus games, and only one of them sucked.
Which one was it?
You like that clickbait title? Before we get started, this video is brought to you by GameToppers. They're the sponsor of Neverboard Gaming. They've been our sponsor for about 5 years. They're absolutely fantastic. We definitely recommend that you check them out. Link in the description down below. So we're going to talk about these 3 games, starting with Pixies. Wes, why don't you lead us off?
Yeah, so Pixies is really a drafting game where you are trying to make a grid from 1 to 9 cards. And when you draft your cards, you have to put them in the slot they would go in. So the 1s go here, the 2s go here, the 3s go here.
Except you, in this example, you have it backwards again.
No, you have it backwards.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In the rules, it has it the other way.
You're drafting these cards to fill your grid. You score the number on the card if there is a face-down card underneath it.
So not exactly 9 cards. 9 cards face up.
Yeah.
But you could draft more than that. So if you draft a card that is like a 5, and you already have 2 5s in the example we have up here, you're like, well, I can't put a 3rd card there, so it's going to go face down, and it's going to be priming or validating, whatever, another card that you play there, but it's also going to trigger the end of the round faster, because once one player has all 9 slots filled, either with a face up or a face down, or 2 cards or whatever, that will trigger the end of the round. Forcing somebody to draft a card that they would get, that would be their 3rd, right? So they have to go face down. It's both good for you, because you're like, they're not getting points, unless they happen to draw that number later, but at least right now they're not getting more points, but it also could be ending the round faster than I want it to.
The other way you can force people to get cards is that you don't just score for the face value on the card. There's also the little swirls, which are points that either are just on the card or based on how many of that color you have in your tableau. But some of them also have negative points on them. If you can put a card, you have to put a card. So you can kind of force, if you already see, well, they already have a 7 with a bunch of negative points on it. This 7 also has a bunch of negative points on it, so we can kind of force that into their tableau to force them to get... Because you get the negative points cards thinking the goal would be to put a positive point card on top of it and turn the negative point face down.
Because when you get 2 of the same card, it's either the new one that you got goes on top, or the old one that you got, you get to choose. So
it's really simple. It's super easy to teach. I really enjoyed it, though.
We just played it with Wes's oldest son, who is 8 years old, and he absolutely crushed.
He crushed us both.
It is a very fast-paced, really fun game, really light, really quick.
Yeah.
So it's not the one that sucks. Paper World is a game where you're going to be drafting cards, and you're going to be building a 3x3 grid, like in Pixies.
No way.
Crazy. But you're not exactly drafting the same. In Pixies, you just draft normal. You're going to put out 1 card per player, and you draft. Here, there's going to be 5 piles of cards, and you have to take either all the same color or all the same number. And there are 4 colors, I think, and the numbers are 1 through 5. And then on your turn, you're either going to draft that, or you're going to play from your hand all the same number or all the same color. And you want to have them go sequentially with the same color. So if I put down, in fact, here in this stack I have right here, there is a blue 1, a blue 2, then a blue 3, then a blue 4, then a blue 5. That is sort of the perfect section of my grid. Right there, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And there's different challenges or objectives you can get throughout the game, which are these green cards down here. First person to get them takes the first token, which is worth more points. And then if you follow and get that objective later, it is worth less points. So in addition to your stacks, you're also trying to organize, have your colors in this way or have your grid filled up. There's all different objectives you can go for, but it adds another level of strategy, I guess you could say, to what you're drafting.
But also in building up from 1 to 5, that would sound like it's very restrictive because it's not just ascending, it's sequential. But you can burn a card from your hand, because remember, on your turn, you're either going to draft or you're going to play cards from your hand. You can draft more cards than you need, kind of, and then burn cards from your hand in order to skip. I'm going to play this 3 on top of this 1, skipping the 2 by burning a card from your hand. But every card that you burn, and every card that is in your hand at the end of the game that you don't play, is a negative point. It's something where you have to be very strategic about that choice to burn a card in order to try and get, because the higher value cards have points. A 5 being on top has 5 points. A 1 or a 2 doesn't even have, actually no, 2 has 1. Oops, 1 doesn't have any point. 1, 2, oh, they skipped 4. There's no 4-point card.
And there's also some cards that have the little scissors token on it, which is right here. And the scissors token, 1, it's 2 points if you have it at the end of the game, but it allows you to skip a number in your stack when you're playing cards. But the restriction is that the card you played that gets you the scissors token is where the scissors token will go. and then you cannot play on that stack as long as that scissors token is there. And you can only get rid of that scissors token by either playing another scissors card in a different stack or by one of your opponents playing that, because there's only one of those tokens in the game. So if I have the scissors token and I get to skip, but then Tom plays the scissors card, he then will take it from me, and now he gets to use the skip.
And that's most of the things. There are a lot of the scoring cards, though. Like, all of them are double-sided, and you only use 3 every game, so there really is a lot of variety there. But overall, this one is just as maybe 5% more complicated than Pixies. Still.
Well, you can tell it's more complicated because it's a bigger box.
Slightly
and
bigger
everyone
box.
knows that the complexity of a game is directly proportional to the size of the box.
It does feel a little bit tighter than Pixies, I will admit. I like Pixies better. Pixies has a little bit slightly more scoring, I'd say. No, they're about the same. I mean, because you got the points on here, the scissors token, and then 3 goals. There you have the points printed on the card, the swirlies printed on the card, the negatives, and then the color bonus. So yeah, you still get a lot of different ways to get points.
I agree. I liked Pixies the best on this whole table.
Spoilers.
And I think part of that is because it's cleaner. I think Paper World is a little bit there's a little bit more going on. There's a little bit more to think about. I was a little drunker when we played. So
well, and I mean, it is more, like I said, having to go sequentially is going to be more restrictive, right?
Yeah.
Well, not really, because you could skip, but it's still restrictive because you don't want to skip unless you have the scissors token. You don't want to skip because of the negative points.
To play well requires a little bit more strategy. There's more. I would say there are more moving parts in Paper World than in Pixies, which is just super clean, super easy to teach.
You can play
plays
Pixies
really
faster.
fast. Pixies plays faster. And then there's this one.
Yeah, so in Kado, you're building, guess what? A 3x4 grid.
Holy shit!
But you're doing this in that there's one person who's like giving out gifts. They're going to draw a card from the top of this deck, and they're going to say, okay, you know what, Wes, you get this one. Okay, imaginary third player, you get this one. And I'll keep this one. And now I just did that, in like a counterclockwise way, but you don't have to. You can give it out however you want.
You can keep the first gift
and then
draw
you
or
go,
whatever.
yeah, and then you go around, and everybody tries to figure out what you kept.
Who cares? There's colors and there's types.
Yeah.
And so I guess, Tom, do you have the blue Rubik's Cube?
Nope. Okay, so I get to keep this.
And now you don't have to get both of those things right either.
You just have to get one of the two.
If you get both right, you get bonus points. And if you get one of them right, then we swap.
But you might not want to swap because maybe I'm looking at the card and then handing it to you, so I should not give you a good thing, right? But maybe I do give you a good thing because then you don't want to swap with me, right? And then I get to keep my good thing.
Especially early on in the game, you have nothing to go on other than you probably have the best card out here. As the game progresses, because you score based on having your entire column is the same color, it scores points. And then your rows score based on how many of the same type of item you have.
Well, you pick the item that you have the most of, and then you get that many points. So, if somebody has 2 of the same item, they just pick whichever one.
Or if you only have 1 slot left, and if you get a green, it'll complete that color.
So you might be like, I don't
obviously
really care
he probably has a green, so you may give the green card to an opponent, so they might get, It
feels like mind games, but there aren't really many mind games.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, in what scenario are you not going to just keep the best card?
Yeah, and I feel like as far as guessing what you have, most often it was like, well, they picked a green sock, and they picked a blue teddy bear, so I'm going to pick one of the 2 colors that didn't get picked, or one of the type. You're just kind of arbitrarily guessing, and the only strategy is that, well, I know what I want, so I'm going to guess that you have that thing, because if you have it, that's good for me. Because there's also times where you may not want to swap. I'm okay with what I have. I don't really want to risk swapping and then it being even worse.
Yeah, this isn't the best thing for me, but it's also not the worst thing for me.
Yeah.
So, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't, or whatever, right? I don't know. This one kind of fell flat. I wanted to like it, because it's a grid. The table is definitely set up in best to least, right? Like, Pixies, great, solid, love it. Paper World, enjoy it, like it kind of. I'll say I like it a lot. Don't love it, but like it a lot.
If someone's like, "Hey, do you want to play Paper World?" You'd be like, "Yeah, absolutely. That sounds great."
Hey, I brought Paper World to this Arby's. Love it, like it a lot.
So there will be links to all 3 of these games down in the description box below. We have been absolutely loving the little small box fillers games. I feel like as we've gotten more into gaming and the time is filled up, like, there's tons of giant box games that we absolutely love. But having these small games that are really solid, that you could play really quickly in a really short amount of time, that you can teach super quick, there's a ton of value in that. So
And Pandasurus is doing a lot. They're pumping these out. Like, see our last review for Castle Combo and for Rivages. They are really pumping these out like crazy.
It'd probably be Rivages and then Castle Combo.
Castle Combo
in terms of what we like.
Rivages doesn't fit into this category. You're not making a grid, but Castle Combo is definitely the best out of all of the things we've listed.
There's purchase links down there as well as a link to GameToppers, which is also awesome.
Yeah, they're amazing. They're what we're filming on right here. They're what we play 90% of our games on, unless we take it to an Arby's. We highly recommend you check that out. But also down there is going to be a link that says
subscribe.
If you do that,
you'll never be bored.
Yeah! Boom.